Welcome back. You're watching World Talks, where every word matters. I'm your host, Kaga Turminska. Donald Trump's incoming envoy to Ukraine has postponed a fact-finding trip to the capital, Kyiv, until after the president-elect's inauguration on January 20th. Meanwhile, Ukrainian military has launched a new assault in Russia's Kursk region, with reports of multiple battles issued by both sides of the conflict. Almost all of Kurahove in Ukraine's Donetsk region is now occupied by Russian forces, according to reports coming from Deep State, a website monitoring Russian and Ukrainian military operations. Bringing you the latest updates on Ukraine while asking questions about the future of the country, as every day is getting us closer to Donald Trump's inauguration. I'm joined by my next guest, Oleksiy Goncharenko, Ukrainian Member of Parliament from the European Solidarity. Hello, thank you for joining me on the program.
Hello.
So why do you think was the reason for the incoming envoy, General Kellogg, to Ukraine to postpone his visit to Kyiv? Could this be just a minor inconvenience, or is it a signal of something more, perhaps?
I don't think that this is a signal of something more. I think that it's about, first of all, juridical things. Donald Trump is still not president. He's president-elect, but he will be inaugurated on January 20th. And I think that there is no sense to rush. And like yesterday during his press conference, President-elect Trump said that he is waiting for his inauguration, for example, for meeting with Putin and things like this. So I think this is the first reason, but no, maybe not the only. Maybe still he needs more information and understanding, being in the United States, to prepare for the visits, because it will be not just visit to Ukraine probably, but I think he's planning some kind of a visit or meeting with the Russian side. So maybe this part is also not prepared. So I don't think this is a big thing. I think that we will see more active, real activity from General Kellogg and other Trump assistants and team after January 20.
So before, during the presidential campaign and after it, we heard from Mr. Trump, who claimed that he could end the war in Ukraine within 24 hours from taking office, but has since made little progress. What do you think will be Trump's plan to resolve the issue, given the latest developments, and what do we know about it so far?
Donald Trump is a very powerful man, but he's not a wizard, and it was clear that he can't stop the war in 24 hours, even not being in the office. So, and even being in the office, he can't stop the war in 24 hours too. But if he really has intention to do this, he can achieve this, maybe not in 24 hours, but quite quickly, if he will be tough, first of all, with Russia and with Putin, because they don't understand any other language. So yesterday, Trump again spoke about Ukraine during his press conference. So Ukraine is high in his agenda, and the war, the stopping of the war is high in his agenda. But how it will continue, we will see.
So in his latest evening address, President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed hope that efforts to negotiate Ukraine's accession to the European Union will pick up steam next year. He noted that the EU presidency is held by countries that are friendly to Kyiv. What's your comment on that?
Yeah, first of all, Poland, and Poland is a real friend and ally of Ukraine. And Poland clearly understands that we are fighting for the common goal, that Kremlin and Moscow and Russia is the threat not just for Ukraine, but for Poland too, and for other Eastern European countries. So we hope very much that during this time, during the time of presiding, when Poland is presiding now in European Union, there will be a lot of development and movement forward of Ukrainian membership in EU. In general, I want to tell you, just take a look what's happening in the world. Just listen to what Donald Trump is saying. Donald Trump is saying about Greenland, about Panama Channel, about Canada to become the 51st U.S. state, and so on. What does it mean? It means that if Europe wants to be a geopolitical player, not to be played by others, but to be a geopolitical player, Europe really needs Ukraine because Europe needs big and strong and experienced army. Just take a look. United. When I'm saying Europe, it's not just European Union. It's a wider United Kingdom. This country has a smaller army than it had in Napoleonic war times. They have less than 100,000 people in military. Ukraine has 1 million. Just to compare, and it says and shows us how important definitely Europe is for Ukraine. But Ukraine is for Europe too, and only together we can really achieve to be players, not to be hostages of other forces in the world.
So do you think that in those negotiation talks with the European Union, Ukraine is actually going to use this military angle as something that they bring into the equation?
Yes, absolutely. It's not about just, we need to understand the world has changed. That's all. It's not the world which it was 10 years ago. It's not the world which it was 3 years ago. It's a different world. And now when we're speaking about European Union, it's not about waters, agriculture, and something like this. It's about security, first and foremost. And if Europe will not be strong, Europe will be divided, Europe will be attacked, Europe will be plundered. That's the reality. And Europe should be strong. So safety first. And safety means being strong. For the moment in the world, there are two big geopolitical players, United States and China. Russia tried but lost because geopolitically, the war against Ukraine is a disaster for Russia. You said that they took this tiny town of Kurakhove in Donbass, but the war was not about this. Yeah, for Ukrainians it's important. For everybody else in the world, it's not. So Russia is not. Russia is now kind of a vassal state of China. So Europe should be a player itself, and army here is the key.
Well, the result of this war was supposed to be a statement made by Russia, and they are learning the hard way. Let's look into the frontline situation, because I would like to discuss that as well. Ukrainians are in Russian Kursk region. Russians are attacking in Donetsk. What can you tell us about the situation? Because when it comes to two different camps and different sources, there's different information about the situation.
The situation is difficult, hard fighting. Ukrainians still control part of Kursk region. Russia is expanding its control in Donbass. Unfortunately, for the moment, we can't stop them. This is the reality. We can't stop them in Donbass. They can't kick us out from Kursk. That's how, if to take it like, without any not needed details, this is the situation. Hard fighting with not big results, slightly bigger results for Russia, but slightly. That's the situation for the moment.
Offensive is one thing, but holding the land is a completely different thing. So far, did Ukraine actually manage to hold any land that's been taken from Russia?
Yes, we hold the Kursk region that was occupied. Not everything we occupied in August, but near half of what we took in August is still under control of Ukraine.
Obviously, a big discussion here on TVP World revolved around the North Korean soldiers and the sort of cooperation that was started between Russia and North Korea. When we look at the soldiers that are fighting in Ukraine, North Korean soldiers, in your opinion, are they a liability or an actual asset to Russia?
They are an actual asset. These are people which they don't care about their lives. They don't care about Russians. They don't care at all about Northern Korea. And they use them. And Ukraine today is fighting. Just watch. Ukraine today is fighting against Russia, against North Korea, in reality against Iran, because Russia is using Iran weapons, and Ukraine is standing. Who would tell you this 3 years ago, that Russia would attack Ukraine and then they will need North Korean soldiers to continue their aggression? I think you would never believe in this. But also is a threat. Just imagine that North Koreans are now very close to Polish border. I think this is a serious challenge.
It's a very serious challenge and something definitely to consider. We have heard that North Korean forces are actually suffering substantial losses on the battlefield. Do you think that the North Korean leader is actually going to continuously support Russia and send more soldiers? And what's in it for him?
I'm sure he will, because first of all, I think he trades his people for some money, and for him, I'm sorry to say this, it's a cannon fodder, these people. So he will trade in them for money, maybe for some technologies, and also his army is receiving a real battleground experience, because last time North Korean army was in fight in 1950s. So this is important for them to have their army really strong. But that makes North Korea even more dangerous. And I think this is a huge danger.
Most definitely. It's also difficult to talk about. It's difficult to talk about them getting enough training, considering, as you said, that they are the father. Thank you so much, Oleksiy Goncharenko, Ukrainian member of parliament from the European Solidarity. Thank you for joining. And so this would be all for now here on World Talks, but please do stay tuned as we have Jana Shravinsky with the latest news bulletin coming in just a moment.